Hi, how are you?
I'm good, fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm also good. Welcome to IBR. We would like to hear something about your record you have made with us.
Thank you. So my world record uh, is about yoga. So
Okay.
technically what happened, I was traveling in 2022 to Tibet,
Okay.
and at the altitude of 5,000 something plus meters, we were doing the photo shoot about yoga.
Okay.
And what me and my team has seen that other people are not able to walk properly. And that's
Okay.
how idea came to my mind
Very
that
good.
in and then we start searching the yoga records at the high altitude. So
Okay.
we looked around the world, pretty much on every continent. Africa, we looked at the Kilimanjaro, then seven summiters, all those detail we went through. And
Okay.
finally, it was surprising to know there was no world record of advanced yoga at any kind of altitude.
Okay.
So,
So
so,
you
so
did the attempt?
Yeah, so that's how the idea came into the formation, and then
Okay.
work out the detail and everything, the scientific side, the hypoxia, the impact, how much percent is oxygen there, and
Mm-hmm.
what are the efforts I have to put. As far as physical fitness is concerned, as a yogi, I
Hmm.
mean, there is no issue, but the major concern was the hypoxia.
Okay.
Because oxygen is at the
Oxygen
base
level.
camp around 50%.
Okay. So
Yeah,
how do
so
you manage?
uh, in our planning, it was not just about the world record.
Hmm.
We had idea that with the world record, we will
Hmm.
produce the scientific research.
Okay.
So it will be helpful for Indian soldiers, those are deployed at the high altitude.
Okay.
So I had my team with me. We were
Hmm.
recording data at every iconic point. For
Hmm.
example, we begin at the Lukla, which is
Hmm.
1,800 meters height. And
Okay.
then from there, we went to the first iconic place called, what's the name? Sorry, name is slipping through my head. And
It's
then we have
okay.
to stay over Phakting. Name of the
Okay.
place is Phakting. So
Okay.
we have to stay there one night, and the next day we continue from there to another iconic point called Hillary Bridge. So is
Okay.
memory.
Okay.
Hello, you
Yeah.
able to see?
I think.
All right. So we recorded the data before yoga and after yoga. For example, we were recording system and cognition, how I'm able to think, make decisions, and answer the questions which were previous in prepared in advance for the
Okay.
research place called Namchi Bazaar,
Mm-hmm.
which is 3,000 something. Am I going in too much detail?
Mm-hmm. No, no, it's okay. We are
All
uh,
right.
we are very much interested to know. Yeah.
So after 2 days, we arrive at the place called Namchi Bazaar. So
Okay.
this is the place at 3,000 plus meters altitude. And here, actually, this Namchi Bazaar is the place which is the last resort. You can do the shopping and buy high altitude gear and everything you need to prepare
Mm-hmm.
further for your trek. And here we have one another iconic point called Everest View Hotel.
Okay.
So this is the hotel which provide you the view of the Everest for the first time.
Okay.
So it's at the 3,800 meters altitude. So it was my first attempt to
Okay.
perform a headstand, Shirsasana, because I have to simulate and need to prepare all the way up because idea was that I will start yoga from Lukla all the way up to the base camp. So
Uh, just a minute. We would like to
yeah.
share the photograph of yours. Just have a look at this. One moment.
Yeah, that's the Vrishikasana I'm doing there at the base camp.
Okay.
So right
So,
behind you, looking at the Kumbhu Valley.
right.
Yeah, that's the
Very
glacier
nice
area.
picture. Yes, we can
Thank
see
you.
that. It's a very nice picture
Thank
and
you.
nice Shirshasana pose.
No, this is Vrishikasana, the scorpion
Vrishik.
pose.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Another one was Shirshasana and Murasana.
Sirsasana. Yeah, so altogether registered world record for 3.
Right.
And yeah, so I was at the Everest View Hotel, so we did something there. And it was my first attempt to see how my body is going to behave at the 3,800 meters altitude. So we
Right.
did that Sirsasana and some other yoga poses. And then we moved next day to the other places. So
Okay.
something called Tingboche, and after that, one another place. So basically, altitude starts hitting me hard at the
Okay.
4,000 plus meter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Then
when
what did you do?
after, yeah, I track almost like 5 days by then. And
Mm-hmm.
the day I arrive at the Tingboche, which is 4,400 meters altitude.
Okay.
So we reached there, I think, after 9 hours of trek. And in the evening, my, how to say, body was kind of extremely tired as everybody. There was nobody who can run at that place. So
Right.
everybody is tired, every single climber.
Okay.
But little bit I was feeling headache, and this
Okay.
headache was keep growing.
Okay.
And then I said to my expedition expert, I said, I have to do some yoga. And then I performed some belly breathing, chest breathing, and then it helped me to balance out that headache.
Mm-hmm.
It increased my blood flow circulation. And after that, we recorded the data again. And
Okay.
and I was surprised to see that after my breathing and a little bit yoga practice, my headache was gone away. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was wonderful to see. Yeah.
Right.
So in Tingboche we stayed 2 nights.
Okay.
So sorry, one night we arrived. No, 2 nights. Sorry, we arrived and then we stay first night. The next day we have to trek further up because
Okay.
idea is that for the acclimatization purpose, you always climb up and sleep low. So next
Right.
day we climbed up for the acclimatization around 5,000 plus meters, then came back all the way down at
Okay.
4,400 and sleep there another night.
Okay.
And then we continue for the another iconic place.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Everest Memorial.
Okay.
So we have to actually go all the way to a place called Loboche, the
Okay.
place where you have to sleep. But on the way, you arrive at a place called Everest Memorial, and that's
Okay.
where you really feel that this is the serious stuff. You can die.
Right.
So I was there around hour and so. I did yoga even at the memorial, paid my respect, and
Mm-hmm.
then that point on, every single climber become more serious
Mm-hmm.
because they see that there are thousands of people. We read the name, their country, expedition timeline, and all the detail, and then you realize that death is right there on the table.
Right.
So after this iconic point, I did my yoga and continued to the Lobuche.
Okay.
Lobuche, we arrived. It's 5,000 altitude, I think 5,000 meters, something. And
Yeah.
then at Lobuche, we stay one night.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go to the sleep, we have to climb further up. So we go to see the glaciers firsthand. We come
Okay.
back, eat whatever you can, and then sleep overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely cold
Okay. How many
because
persons were there in your team at that time?
we were 5 people. I have a
Oh, five.
videographer, photographer, my climb expedition climbing head, and me. So I had
Oh,
my own team,
right.
but it was really cold in the night. I mean,
Right.
it's freezing temperature.
I think so. It was.
Because those hotels, the so-called hotels, we
Mm-hmm.
call them tea houses. So they are made of the cardboard. So
Okay, only
technically, yeah,
cardboard.
only cardboard. So you
Okay.
have the entire gear on, your down jacket and thermal layer and every layer,
Okay.
except shoes. You wear the thick socks and then you go to sleep. And
Yeah.
whatever is you can get, next day you have to hit the track again.
Okay.
So we
Good.
wake up next day 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then drink coffee and have some breakfast, and then we are again on the trail, and we have to trek almost 8 hours to reach the place called Gorakshep.
Okay.
So it was tough
Okay.
because of the glaciers are melting. So every single day you have loose rock falling, and that's how the trail keeps changing.
Okay.
So sometime you're going up, then all the way down, then going up again. It's traumatic almost. So
Right.
after walking for, let's say, 6 hours of very tough climb, because oxygen level already hitting, let's say, probably
Right.
55%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Dropped.
temperature keep changing, because if
Right.
sun is out, you are
Mm-hmm.
plus 6 or 7 degrees. If sun is not there, you are minus 10 degrees.
Right.
So your layer is up and down all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
then after I arrived to the Gorakshep, basically everybody kind of, I have my own team, but there were some other climbers ahead of me and behind me. So
Okay.
everybody arrived at the Gorakshep and really is you drained.
Okay.
Technically, your
Of course.
energy is gone.
Of course.
Yeah, so we arrived at the Gorakshep, and then I had my, let's say, so-called lunch. Basically,
Okay.
it's a noodle, instant noodle with the hot
Noodles.
water. Yeah,
Noodles
and then, yeah,
considered
yeah.
considered as lunch.
Oh, very much luxury out there. So we had something like this and drink some water, and then we have to immediately continue to the base camp.
Right.
So it's another 3.5 hours.
Okay.
In general, but generally it depends on individual capacity
Uh-huh.
and how his body is responding to the situation.
Right.
So I started with my team.
Hmm.
I mean, at this point, everything is tough.
Right.
Putting your one feet, in front of the other one is tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost trek for 3 or something hours, and
Okay.
by the time I arrived there, what happens that base camp is in your sight,
Hmm.
but to go there, it looks
Hmm.
near, but then you go
But
up and down. It seems like it's forever.
right. It
So
was kind of hurdle race, kind of, we can say. There were so many
yeah,
hurdles, and then you reach at the base camp or whatever the thing is.
it's how to say, it's uh, something called no mindlessness. In yoga, we always
Okay.
say, कि मन नहीं बचा है.
Acha. Okay.
शरीर तो थक ही जाता है, but after the
Right.
Gorakshep, you have no mind, because mind
Okay.
is also tired, and finally mind leaves you. Now
Hmm.
you remain with the pure consciousness, and
Okay.
that's what takes you forward, because physically you are drained, mentally you are tired, but now this is only your willpower which can
Right.
propel you forward.
We
And
can
in my
only say
case,
this thing. We can say one thing, that it's all in the mind, whether to complete the
yes,
journey or to go back. That is totally in your mind. When you take the decision, you have to go forward. Otherwise, you have to
that's
come back,
correct.
right?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, going there is optional, but coming back is compulsory.
Right. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise you're gonna be airlifted by the helicopter and not
Ah.
sure if you're gonna come back in one piece.
Exactly. It was
So
such a risk-packed journey.
it is. It is. Risk factor is very high. So what
Mm.
happened with me? I'm almost at the base camp, but there is a ridge. You're going
Right,
on the ridge, then you have to go almost 25 meters down.
right.
And when you going down through the ridge and looking at the base camp, you realize, like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna make it, but you're still not there. But
Hmm.
then also reality hits you very hard. Then I'm going down is this much hard, then how I'm gonna make it back all the way up there?
Right.
वापस भी तो आना है ना?
Hmm.
Because at the base camp, when you arrive there, there is no place to stay
Right.
in September. So only place you can stay, you have to come back to the Gorakchep, which is
Hmm.
gonna take minimum 3 hours. So
Right.
I arrive at the base camp, and generally people don't spend much time at the base camp. They spend, let's say, uh, 15 to 20 minutes. So I
Right.
arrived there, and I was in awe of the base camp energy. And when you're
Okay.
looking up to the highest mountain on the planet, and you kind of become very emotional. So
Right.
I was there. I sit down. I took my photos with my brand and everything,
Hmm.
whatever I supposed to do. And then
Hmm.
I sat down on the floor, and my team is waiting. And then
Right.
my guide said to me, like, maybe you should not attempt. And I said, what do you mean? He said, here people are
Hmm.
not able to stand on their feet, and you're gonna stand on your head.
Hmm.
And I said, that's how it's gonna happen. So on the walkie-talkie, he spoke to somebody that
Hmm.
keep the helicopter guy on a standby,
Okay.
because they didn't know if I go all the मैं शीर्षासन करूं and never know if I come back or I just black out.
Right.
So I sit down there, and suddenly I said to my team, I said, okay, keep the cameras rolling.
Okay.
And just I begin, I said, वो एक मंत्र है अपना, त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिम पुष्टिवर्धनम.
Okay.
So I speak only this one mantra, and
So
I
it
begin my.
gave it gave you the power.
Uh, त्र्यंबकम is all about the sixth chakra.
Okay.
ये जो एनर्जी है,
Hmm.
उसे त्र्यंबकम अपन कहते हैं हिंदी में.
Okay.
उस
Okay.
तो वो यहाँ वाली एनर्जी है छठवें चक्र की. तो
Okay.
ये सुषुम्ना के पास होता है. So technically, I'm aligning my chakras through the
Okay.
mantra. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very scientific factor. And then I began. So first attempt I did on a Shirsasana,
Okay.
then Mayurasana, and after that I was keep doing lots of stuff. But then I, from that stone where it in Everest Base Camp 5364 meters, I
Right.
went down behind, and that's where on the rock, loose rock, you can see black one. I did
Hmm.
this Vrishikasana. And
Vrishchikasana.
I
Right.
also did another, yeah, I did also one called Vrikshasana. वो हाथों
Okay.
पे खड़े होते हैं ना. But
Right.
we didn't register that because I
Hmm.
wanted to do only 3.
Okay.
So I was at the base camp almost 61 minutes.
Okay. 61 minutes. That means
And
1 hour. 1 hour and 1 minute.
yeah, I was there. And to my surprise, after performing all these yoga asanas, and then I don't know what happened. Probably the creative energy transformation took place there, that I become so emotional, and tears were rolling down, because the
Hmm.
energy hits you that you will. I was planning for this almost 8 months,
Right.
and
And you got
finally
there.
it happened, and it was a realization. And I
Right.
think in my full consciousness that nature allow you, only then you can make the world records. It's not that you can something pull through. You can prepare very well, but then you have to be so humble, because most powerful force we have in the universe is the mother nature.
Right.
And that 1 hour there, and the realization of the energy gave me an amazing booster.
I would
And
like
then I
to say
completed
nature
my way
allowed
back to the
you.
Gorakshep.
I would like to say nature allowed you to do that.
Of course, if Mother Nature is not allowing you, then no one can do anything. I'm a way too small person.
Definitely.
Nothing can happen. So I made all the way back to the Gorakshep. I stayed there one night. Next day, 2 o'clock in the morning, we wake up and I climb a higher mountain called Kalapathar.
Okay. Again, you
So
went there.
yeah, I went higher than the base camp. So we did 5,800 meters. And from
Okay.
Kalapathar, we came back around 8 o'clock in the morning because you have to
Okay.
start very early in the morning. So you start at the 2. And
Okay.
before you climb, they check your oxygen level. If it's less than 74%, then they will not let you go.
Of
So
course.
it has to be 74 plus. Then the heart
Right.
rate and everything was in order. I performed yoga again in the morning, got my
Mhm.
full cognition and conscience ready. Then we climb up, come back down, and on the way back to the Lukla, we did it in short time.
Okay.
Generally take 3 days,
Uh-huh.
3 to 4 days. I did it in 2.5 days.
Right.
So we skipped. Yeah,
It
so I
was
think
remarkable.
it was
It was
amazing.
remarkable.
It was wonderful. Yeah, it was
Definitely.
wonderful. And yeah, so that's what my journey. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
No, I was so amazed to listen all these things from you, but I would like to say thanks for joining us. We would like to end here as
Thank you. And I have one
yeah,
announcement to make
yeah.
that I would like to cooperate with Asia World Record and India World Record. I'm going back again in the first week of May, and this time
Okay,
I'm going a uh, mountain called Mira Peak.
okay,
It's 21,000 feet.
okay,
It's 6,400 meters high, and it's
okay,
gonna take me altogether. Journey will take around 22 to 28 days.
okay. So we would like
And
to wish you all the best for your next venture. We would
thank
like
you very
to
much.
see you very soon in the May,
Thank
right? All the
you so
best.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.